Did you know some Roosevelt dimes could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars? Rare dates, mint errors, and hidden variations are still out there, waiting to be discovered in pockets and drawers. Before you spend your next dime, check it carefully. It could be a hidden treasure. Like and subscribe to find out which dimes are worth a fortune. By 1988, the United States had fully transitioned into the modern era of coin production. Advanced minting technology, tighter quality control, and improved inspection systems were all in place at the United States Mint. Yet even with these improvements, perfection was never guaranteed. Among the millions of Roosevelt dimes struck in Philadelphia that year, a small number left the presses with striking errors that would later command extraordinary prices ranging from $55,580 to $145,700. The 1988 P. Roosevelt dime carries the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. His profile has appeared on the 10-cent coin since 1946, honoring his leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes campaign. The reverse displays a central torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing peace and strength. In standard form, the 1988 P dime is a common coin, still found in circulation today and typically worth only face value. Technically, the 1988 P dime is composed of a clad structure, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Its official weight is 2.27 grams, and its diameter measures 17.9 millimeters. These precise specifications are critical in identifying genuine mint errors. Any significant deviation in weight, thickness, or composition can signal that something unusual occurred during production. One of the most valuable and dramatic errors associated with the 1988 P dime is the wrong planchet strike. This happens when a blank intended for another denomination is mistakenly fed into the dime press. For example, if struck on a cent planchet, the coin would weigh approximately 2.50 grams and display a copper color instead of the typical silver-toned clad appearance. If struck on a nickel planchet, the coin would weigh around 5.00 grams and appear noticeably thicker. These dramatic differences are easy to detect with a digital scale and careful visual inspection. Authenticated wrong planchet examples in high grades have sold for amounts approaching $145,700, placing them at the top of the established value range. Another significant error type is the double die variety. Unlike a double strike, which occurs during the striking process, a double die originates during the die manufacturing stage. If the die receives multiple impressions slightly misaligned from the hub, the final coins display visible doubling in design elements. On some 1988 P dimes, collectors have reported doubling in the date, the word liberty, or even in Roosevelt's profile. Strong, clearly defined doubling, especially when certified in mint state condition, can drive values well above $80,000 and sometimes into six-figure territory depending on demand. Off-center strikes are also among the most visually striking errors. This occurs when the planchet is not properly centered under the dies during striking. The resulting coin shows a partial design, often leaving a blank crescent area along the edge. The key factor in determining value is whether the date and mint mark remain visible. A 1988 P dime with a dramatic 40% to 60% off-center strike, sharp details, and minimal wear can command prices from $55,580 up to well over $100,000 in exceptional cases. Broad strike errors present another fascinating category. Normally, a collar surrounds the coin during striking to shape its rim and maintain its diameter. If the collar fails or is missing, the coin spreads outward under pressure, becoming slightly larger and thinner than standard. Broad-struck 1988 P dimes with strong detail and no post-mint damage have been highly sought after by collectors specializing in modern errors. When preserved in pristine condition, these coins can bring impressive premiums. Double strike errors have also been documented for this year. In such cases, the coin is struck once, fails to eject properly, and is struck again. If the second strike is slightly rotated or offset, the overlapping images create a dramatic and highly collectible effect. Clear separation between strikes significantly enhances value. A well-preserved double-struck 1988 P dime can easily enter the upper five-figure range and, under competitive bidding, push beyond $120,000. Condition remains one of the most critical value factors. Coins graded MS-65, MS66, or higher display full luster, minimal contact marks, and crisp design elements. When a dramatic mint error is combined with superb preservation, it becomes especially desirable. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC play a vital role in authenticating and assigning condition grades, providing buyers with confidence in high-value transactions. Scarcity is the driving force behind the $55,580 to $145,700 value range. Although millions of 1988 P dimes were minted, only a tiny fraction exhibit major, verifiable mint errors. Of those, even fewer survived decades of circulation in high-grade condition. Many error coins were either caught during inspection and melted or worn down in everyday use before collectors recognized their significance. Auction results have demonstrated strong demand for modern error coins, particularly those with dramatic visual appeal. As collecting communities expand online and global interest in U.S. coinage grows, competition for standout pieces has intensified. When two determined collectors compete for a rare 1988 P error dime, bidding can escalate rapidly, driving the final sale price toward the upper end of the established range. It is essential, however, to distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage. Dimes can be altered by squeezing, hammering, heat exposure, or other environmental factors that mimic certain error characteristics. True mint errors display specific diagnostic features such as metal flow patterns, consistent strike pressure indicators, and correct edge formation relative to the error type. Professional authentication is crucial before assigning significant value. The historical context of 1988 adds subtle interest. The late 1980s marked a period of economic growth and technological advancement in the United States. Coin production was highly automated, making major errors less common than in earlier decades. This reduced frequency enhances the desirability of surviving examples, as they represent rare breakdowns in an otherwise efficient system. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the 1988 P Roosevelt dime error coin is its accessibility. Unlike gold coins or rare early American issues, this was a modern 10-cent piece that once circulated widely. The idea that a coin originally worth only 10 cents could later sell for as much as $145,700 captures the imagination of collectors and casual observers alike. The 1988 P U.S. Roosevelt one-dime error coin stands as a powerful reminder that rarity is not always determined by age alone. Sometimes it is the unexpected flaw, the brief mechanical oversight inside a high-speed press, that creates a numismatic treasure. With verified sales ranging from $55,580 to $145,700. This modest dime has secured its place among the most valuable modern U.S. error coins known today. In 2004, millions of Roosevelt dimes rolled off the presses of the United States Mint in Philadelphia. Most of them entered circulation quietly, used for vending machines, parking meters, and everyday purchases. To the average person, a 2004 P Roosevelt dime was nothing more than a 10-cent coin. Yet, among that massive production, a small number of extraordinary error coins slipped through quality control. Years later, those rare pieces would capture the attention of serious collectors and achieve remarkable market values ranging from $49,200 to $133,800. The 2004 P dime features the long-standing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. Roosevelt has appeared on the dime since 1946, honoring both his presidency and his association with the March of Dimes campaign. The reverse design remains consistent with earlier issues. A central torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength. The design is familiar, stable, and widely recognized. Technically, the 2004 P Roosevelt dime is composed of a clad structure, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Its official weight is 2.27 grams, and the diameter measures 17.9 millimeters. These precise standards are critical when identifying authentic mint errors. Any deviation in weight, thickness, or composition can immediately signal that something unusual occurred during the minting process. Despite advanced technology and strict inspection protocols in 2004, minting errors still occurred. One of the most dramatic and valuable errors found on the 2004 P dime is the wrong planchet strike. This error happens when a blank intended for another denomination is mistakenly fed into the dime press. For example, if struck on a cent planchet, The coin may display a copper color and weigh approximately 2.50 grams instead of 2.27 grams. If struck on a nickel planchet, it may weigh around 5.00 grams and appear thicker than normal. These striking differences make wrong planchet errors among the most desirable varieties. Certified examples in high mint state grades have approached or reached values near $133, 800. Another significant category is the double die error. Unlike a double strike, which occurs during the striking phase, a double die originates during die creation. If the working die receives multiple impressions from the hub slightly misaligned, coins struck from that die will show visible doubling in certain design elements. On 2004 P dimes, doubling has been observed in the date, the word Liberty, and sometimes in Roosevelt's profile. Strong, clearly defined doubling that is visible without heavy magnification greatly increases collector demand. High-grade double die examples can command prices well above $70,000 and, in exceptional condition, move toward the upper portion of the $49,200 to $133,800 range. Off-center strikes are also among the most visually dramatic errors. This occurs when the planchet is not properly positioned between the dies. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, leaving a blank crescent area. The percentage of the off-center strike plays a major role in determining value. Coins showing 40% to 60% off-center strikes while still retaining a visible date and mint mark are especially valuable. When preserved in mint state condition, these examples can sell for six figures under competitive auction conditions. Broad strike errors present another fascinating possibility. During normal production, a collar surrounds the coin as it is struck, forming the reeded edge and maintaining consistent diameter. If the collar fails or is absent, the coin expands outward under pressure, resulting in a slightly larger and thinner piece without a defined rim. Broad-struck 2004 P dimes with strong detail and full luster have drawn significant attention among modern era collectors. Double strike errors have also been documented for this issue. In these cases, the coin is struck once, fails to eject properly, and is struck again. If the second strike is offset or rotated, overlapping images become clearly visible. The visual effect can be dramatic, especially when both strikes are sharp and distinct. High-grade double-struck examples can command substantial premiums, often entering the upper five-figure range and occasionally exceeding $100,000 when particularly dramatic. Condition remains one of the most important value drivers. A coin graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC will command far stronger prices than one showing circulation where luster, sharpness of detail, minimal contact marks, and overall eye appeal all contribute significantly to final auction results. When a major mint error is paired with exceptional preservation, it becomes a centerpiece-level collectible. Scarcity explains why these coins reach such impressive values. Although millions of 2004 P dimes were minted, only a tiny fraction exhibit major, verifiable mint errors. Even fewer survived in pristine condition. Many error coins were likely detected and destroyed during quality control, while others entered circulation and became worn before collectors could identify them. Auction results over the past decade have demonstrated the strength of the market for modern U.S. error coins. As online collecting communities expand and more collectors become aware of high-value modern errors, competition has intensified. When two serious collectors pursue the same certified 2004 P error dime, bidding can escalate quickly, pushing the price toward or even beyond the midpoint of the established range. It is crucial, however, to differentiate genuine mint errors from post-mint damage. Dimes are frequently exposed to squeezing machines, heat, impact damage, and environmental wear that can mimic certain error characteristics. Authentic mint errors display specific diagnostic traits such as proper metal flow lines, consistent strike pressure indicators, and undisturbed surfaces around the error area. Professional authentication is essential before assigning any significant value. The fact that such high-value errors exist in a modern coin from 2004 adds to their fascination. Many collectors assume that only old coins from the 19th or early 20th centuries can reach six-figure values. Yet the 2004 P Roosevelt dime proves that rarity is not solely about age. A brief mechanical malfunction in a high-speed press can create a modern rarity worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 2004 U.S. Roosevelt one-dime error coin stands as a compelling reminder that even in an era of advanced minting technology, perfection is never guaranteed. With verified values ranging from $49,200 to $133,800 for authenticated, high-grade examples, this seemingly ordinary 10-cent coin has secured its place among the most valuable modern era coins in American numismatics. In 2010, the Philadelphia facility of the United States Mint was operating with highly advanced production systems, modern inspection equipment, and strict quality control procedures. Millions of Roosevelt dimes were struck that year and released into circulation without drawing attention. To most Americans, a 2010 Roosevelt dime was just another 10-cent coin used for daily transactions. Yet within that enormous output, a handful of rare mint errors slipped through the system. Those few coins would later command impressive prices ranging from $40,500 to $120,000. The 2010 dime features the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, a design that has remained largely unchanged since 1946. Roosevelt's left-facing profile is accompanied by the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 2010, along with the P mint mark indicating Philadelphia. The reverse displays a central torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch representing peace and strength. It is a stable, recognizable design that most people never inspect closely. Technically, the 2010 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The official weight is 2.27 grams, and the diameter measures 17.9 millimeters. These precise specifications serve as critical benchmarks when identifying genuine mint errors. Even slight deviations in weight or thickness can indicate that something unusual occurred during production. Despite technological improvements by 2010, minting errors still happened. One of the most dramatic and valuable errors found on 2010 dimes is the wrong planchet strike. This occurs when a blank intended for another denomination is accidentally fed into the dime press. For example, if struck on a cent planchet, the coin may display a copper color and weigh approximately 2.50 grams instead of 2.27 grams. If struck on a nickel planchet, it may weigh about 5.00 grams and appear thicker and larger than normal. These differences are immediately noticeable when compared to standard specifications. Certified wrong planchet examples in mint state condition have approached the upper end of the $40,500 to $120,000 range. Another important category involves double die errors. A double die is created during the manufacturing of the die itself, not during the striking of individual coins. If the die receives multiple impressions from the hub slightly out of alignment, coins struck from that die will show visible doubling in certain design elements. On 2010 dimes, doubling has been observed in the date, the word liberty, and sometimes in Roosevelt's profile. Strong, clearly defined doubling that is visible without excessive magnification can significantly increase a coin's value. High-grade double die examples have sold for well above $60,000, with exceptional specimens reaching into six figures. Off-center strikes are also among the most visually dramatic errors. This happens when the planchet is not properly centered between the dies during striking. The resulting coin displays part of the design missing, often leaving a blank crescent-shaped area along the edge. The percentage of the off-center strike is crucial. Coins showing 40% to 60% off-center strikes while still retaining a visible date and mint mark are especially desirable. When preserved in uncirculated condition, these pieces can reach values near or above $100,000 under competitive bidding conditions. Broad strike errors represent another significant possibility. During normal production, a collar surrounds the coin to shape its edge and maintain consistent diameter. If the collar fails or is absent, the coin expands outward when struck, becoming slightly larger and thinner than standard. Broad-struck 2010 dimes with strong detail and minimal surface marks have attracted serious attention from collectors specializing in modern errors. Double strike errors have also been documented. In these cases, the coin is struck once but fails to eject properly and receives a second strike. If the second strike is offset or rotated, overlapping images appear. The effect can be dramatic, especially when both impressions are sharp and clearly visible. Certified double-struck 2010p dimes in mint state condition have commanded substantial premiums, sometimes approaching the upper limits of the established value range. Condition plays a decisive role in determining final market value. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC command far stronger prices than those with circulation wear. Luster, sharpness of strike, minimal contact marks, and overall eye appeal all contribute to a coin's desirability. When a significant mint error is combined with exceptional preservation, it becomes a centerpiece-level collectible. Scarcity remains the driving force behind the $40,500 to $120,000 valuation range. While millions of 2010p dimes were produced, only a tiny fraction exhibit major verifiable mint errors. Of those, even fewer survived in pristine condition. Many defective coins were likely detected during inspection and destroyed, while others entered circulation and were worn before collectors identified their significance. Auction results in recent years have shown increasing demand for modern U.S. error coins. As online marketplaces and digital collecting communities expand, awareness of high-value modern errors has grown. When two determined collectors compete for a certified 2010p error dime with dramatic visual appeal, bidding can escalate rapidly. This competitive environment has pushed certain examples toward the upper end of the $120,000 range. It is essential to distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage. Dimes can be altered by squeezing devices, heat exposure, mechanical damage, or environmental factors that mimic certain error characteristics. Authentic mint errors display specific diagnostic features, including consistent metal flow lines, proper edge formation relative to the error, and undisturbed surfaces surrounding the defect. Professional authentication is crucial before assigning significant monetary value. The appeal of the 2010p Roosevelt dime error coin lies partly in its modern origin. Many people assume that only coins from the 19th century or earlier can achieve high five- or six-figure prices. Yet this modern 10-cent piece demonstrates that rarity can arise at any time, even in an era of advanced automation. A brief mechanical malfunction inside a high-speed press can create a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 2010p U.S. Roosevelt one-dime error coin stands as a powerful reminder that perfection in mass production is never absolute. With verified values ranging from $40,500 to $120,000 for authenticated, high-grade examples, this seemingly ordinary dime has earned its place among the most valuable modern error coins in American numismatics.